One life's last material journey. One life's flow from the material world to the cosmic universe. One dedicated life. One illuminated life. One life that lived for the gains and causes of others. One life that sacrificed everything so that others may make merry. One life that is on its way to the divine luminescence. Swami Gokulananda, the all-sacrificing Govindo Maharaj for the shelterless, Bodo Maharaj for the devotees, and Maharaj Dadu for the children. The all-colorful, all-pervasive and multifaceted Maharaj, the embodiment of subtle existence, Swami Gokulanandaji. Shocked and unsettled by the news of Swami Gokulananda's Mahasamadhi, people from all around have rushed in to have a final glimpse of this great saint. There are also those who had heard of him, but never had the opportunity of sighting the saint. They are here today, seeking a divine touch of his body. Even the nation's president and the Prime Minister have sent their condolence messages. I am saddened to learn about the passing away of Swami Gokulanandaji Maharaj, the Swamiji of indomitable spirit and a great spiritual leader. Kindly convey my condolences to all the members of the Ramakrishna Mission. I pray to the Almighty to give all of you the strength to bear the passing away of this noble spiritual leader. I learnt with profound sadness the news of the passing away of revered Swami Gokulanandaji Maharaj. I had the privilege and opportunity of knowing Swami Gokulanandaji during his tenure at the New Delhi Center of the Ramakrishna Mission. He was a great teacher and scholar and endeared himself to thousands of followers through his wisdom and compassion. He will be truly missed. I hope the Ramakrishna Mission will seek inspiration from his legacy and continue the good work he was doing. I convey my sincere condolences to all his disciples and admirers.
তোমরা খেয়েছো কিছু? কি খেয়েছো?
Perhaps Sri Ramachandra Mukhopadhyay and his wife Srimati Bimola Devi never imagined that the infant born to their simple household would be one of the greatest luminaries of his times. On 5th January 1929, when a son was born to them, their joy knew no bounds. Krishna has come to us, they would say to describe their feelings. They called the child Govindo. Right from his childhood, Govindo exuded a strong spiritual sense. This was a celestial gift he inherited from his mother and paternal grandmother. When Govindo was just 5 years old, his mother died. On 5th January, when Govindo was born, my father said while performing Aarti ceremony, "Govindo has arrived, Govindo has arrived." When he was 5 years old, I was 13 years old. My mother passed away at that time. I loved my brother from the core of my heart. Even while my mother was unwell, she used to feed him. It won't be irrelevant to say that even on the day of her death, mother made him sit by her side and fed him. He was very naughty. Therefore, mother used to keep a close eye on him. He used to open the back doors and go over to the banks of river Ganga. He would often jump from the boats. Mother used to tell me that I should keep a close watch on him as he was very naughty and anything could happen. Then mother left us. He was admitted to the school. During Durga Puja, Govindo would visit Mughalpur near Haripal with his friends. The impermanence of life puzzled Govindo, and he would often ponder deeply on the mysteries of existence. His father loved him dearly and ensured that the child didn't miss his mother. Time passed. Govindo spent his childhood and student life in Srirampur. Govindo, punctual and disciplined by nature, always reached his school in time. His excellence in studies made him a favorite of the teachers. After passing his school with distinction, he joined Srirampur College. Here he did his honours degree in philosophy. He was a brilliant student. He was admitted even without an interview. He also served as the secretary of College Students' Union. In this capacity, he organized a number of gatherings of intellectuals and thinkers. Govindo read about Swami Siddheshwarananda in newspapers, who had come from Ramakrishna Mission, Paris. It occurred to him that he should invite Swami Siddheshwarananda to his college to deliver a talk. On invitation, Swami Siddheshwarananda and Swami Shashwatananda came over to the college. They delivered lectures on the subject of Swami Vivekananda's influence on France. Time plays its own tricks. Govindo and his elder brother invited both the Swamis to their residence. The Swamis happily accepted the invitation. On the appointed day, Swami Siddheshwarananda and Swami Shashwatanandaji visited their house. The brothers informed the Swamis that they were not yet spiritually graced, that is, they had not yet received Diksha from Belur Math. However, this did not stand as an impediment in their being devotees of Sri Ramakrishna. On spotting the picture of Sri Ramakrishna in the house, Swami Siddheshwarananda said, "Oh, you are worshipping him. You are indeed fortunate." It took quite some time for Govindu to realize the significance of this statement. Though life is full of uncertainties, that day opened up a new chapter in Govindo's life. After some time, Swami Siddheshwarananda returned to Paris. Before leaving, he advised Govindo to get in touch with Swami Shashwatananda ji. Slowly but steadily, Govindo's mind underwent a cosmic transition. Eventually, Govindo visited Karshiang in Darjeeling, where some of his relatives used to stay. It was here that he got to meet Swami Siddhananda ji. At first sight, Swami Siddhananda ji said to Govindo, "Have you taken Diksha?" Pat came the reply from Govindo, "No." Then the Swami said, "Go back and take Diksha from Virajananda ji immediately. He is quite old. After he is gone, you will not get a monk like him who had sannyas directly from Swami Vivekananda." This sounded like a divine command, and Govindo sought Diksha from the most revered Swami Virajananda ji, who was gracious enough to give Diksha to him at Belur Mutt on 29th January 1948. Interestingly, Swami Virajananda ji was a great yogi who loved to stay in Shyamalatal, a beautiful hilly abode. So much so that even after becoming the president of Ramakrishna Mutt and Ramakrishna Mission, the Swami preferred to stay in Shyamalatal. The Diksha received from Virajananda ji sowed divine seeds in Govindo, which were to germinate later into a colossal celestial tree. Govindo continued to study in Sri Rampur. At one point of time, it occurred to Govindo that he should give up his studies and join the monastic order at the Ramakrishna Mission. However, Swami Shashwatananda ji dissuaded him from taking such a step. He opined that no step should be taken in a state of emotional haste. Govindo followed his advice and completed his graduation from Sri Rampur College. Thereafter, again on the advice of Swami Shashwatananda ji, he pursued and completed his post-graduation and took up the job of a lecturer of philosophy and logic. Govindo had a strong desire of visiting Shyamalatal. Though he had never seen Shyamalatal, yet he had a strong affinity for the place. Eventually, he visited Shyamalatal with his elder brother and sister-in-law. The brief sojourn of 7 days at this hilly place enchanted him. The peaceful surroundings of the place took over him.
আমি অকৃতি অধম বলে তো কিছু কম করে মোরে দাওনি। আমি অকৃতি অধম বলে তো কিছু কম করে মোরে দাওনি। যা দিয়েছো তারি অযোগ্য ভাবিয়া, যা দিয়েছো তারি অযোগ্য ভাবিয়া, কেড়েও তো কিছু নাওনি। আমি অকৃতি অধম বলেও তো কিছু কম করে মোরে দাওনি। তব আশিস কুসুম ধরি নাই শিরে, পায়ে দোলে গেছি চাহি নাই ফিরে, আশিস কুসুম ধরি নাই শিরে। পায়ে দোলে গেছি চাহি নাই ফিরে, তবু দয়া করে কে বলি দিয়েছ প্রতিদান কিছু চাওনি। আমি অকৃতি অধম বলেও তো কিছু কম করে মোরে দাওনি। আমি অকৃতি অধম।
One day, while Govindo was passing by the room of Swami Vivekananda, a song of the Lord flowed into his ears. The lyrics were somewhat like, "O my Lord, out of mercy, bless me, so that I can dedicate my life for your cause." The song induced a strong calling for the Lord in him, and he prayed, seeking the requisite strength to be able to serve the cause of Swami Vivekananda. Now, he simply wished to pursue a life of devotion that could lead him to the truth. Tears rolled down uncontrolled as his mind and body soaked in the essence of the song. His mind was full of doubts about the nature of cosmic manifestation. With time, the doubts grew, and so did his thirst for knowledge. It is in this state of mind that once, while he was praying in the Vivekananda temple, he heard the words of divine wisdom of Swamiji that came from his inner self. "Yes, I am with you. You don't have to worry." It is on that fateful day that Govindo decided to renounce the material world. He wrote to Swami Siddheshwarananda ji, conveying his decision to join the monastic order of Ramakrishna Mission on 16th June 1954, the birthday of his Guru. True to his words, Govindo joined the monastic order on the same day at Belur Math. New life, new relationships, new circumstances. He committed himself to the duties of a karma yogi, that is, one who walks undeterred on the path of right work, or nishkam karma. Special events punctuate the lives of special people. In Ramakrishna Mission, Govindo was accepted as a probationer from the day of his joining, which is not usually the case. The Belur Math authorities decided to post him immediately after his joining in Belur Vidya Mandir. He was now Govindo Maharaj. Govindo Maharaj spent 14 long years in Belur Vidya Mandir and served there in various capacities as Hostel Superintendent of East Hostel, Lecturer, Vice Principal and Principal. Govindo's posting at Vidya Mandir turned out to be a good decision for him, because by virtue of being there, he could participate in almost all the festivals of Belur Math. As a young brahmachari, he loved to work in the Garbha Mandir, that is, the sanctum sanctorum of Sri Thakur's temple in Belur Math. During his stay at the Vidya Mandir, Govindo took his brahmacharya Diksha from most revered Swami Shankarananda ji, the 7th president of the order in 1959. Govindo, the novice, now became Brahmachari Murari Chaitanya. In the year 1963, Brahmachari Murari Chaitanya was initiated into sannyas, and he got his sannyas Diksha from the most revered Swami Madhavananda ji Maharaj and was named Swami Gokulananda. After his return from the spiritual abodes of Badrinath and Kedarnath, he was posted at the Cherrapunji ashram of the mission. Here he served as an assistant secretary of the mission and the principal of the Ramakrishna Mission School. Before going to Cherrapunji, he met Swami Gahananandaji, who was the secretary of Ramakrishna Mission, Kolkata. Swami Ketaki Maharaj, one of Gahananandaji's paternal uncles who had spread the words of Ramakrishna in the Khasi hills in the northeast, said to Gokulanandaji that since he is being posted at the Khasi hills, he should learn the Khasi language. In Cherrapunji, he got to meet Father Peter, a Christian Catholic priest who was fluent in Khasi language. Inspired by Father Peter, he too learned Khasi language and wrote several books in the language. Swami Gokulananda observed that the Khasi religion propounded contemplation of God rather than worshipping of God. As such, the faith did not require any temple. He also observed that the Khasi society was gripped by superstitions. Due to his incessant efforts, the Khasi society could transform itself from a world of superstitions to one of sound religion. During his 3-year stay in Meghalaya, he wrote a book titled Shri Kintan Arkintan Shapankanyang Khasi. As a result of the publication of the book, he got invitations from different parts of the Khasi hills for delivering discourses. His simple message to the masses was, all religions are true. Inspired by the teachings of Sri Ramakrishna, he helped the Khasi world to rid itself of superstitions. He taught the Khasis to respect their own religion. He also instructed them to accept the doctrines of other religions as well. The celestial beauty of Khasi hills literally forced Swamiji to prolong his stay. He spent 14 long years in the hills spreading the gospel of Sri Ramakrishna. His love for Meghalaya and its people continued till his very end. His growing influence on the Khasis was resented by the Christian missionaries who were hell-bent upon converting the people into Christians in lieu of petty favors. The missionaries developed a strong dislike for Swamiji, so much so that several attempts were made to harm him. In contrast to the schemes of the missionaries, Swami Gokulananda got more and more popular with the Khasis. However, the state government of Meghalaya was concerned about Swamiji and suggested that he change his place of operation. All the news about the achievements of Gokulananda and his security threats reached the headquarters at Belur Math. It was decided in view of the security threats that the posting of Swami Gokulananda be changed. Thereafter, Swamiji spent 14 months in Sargachi ashram. Sargachi's environment was extremely peaceful and spiritual. Swamiji recharged himself with spiritual energy in this environment. The ashram holds special significance by virtue of its location in a place preferred by monks and spiritual masters for meditation since time immemorial. Thereafter, Swamiji was posted in Narottam Nagar for 4 years, where he spent his time in deep meditation and contemplation. One fine morning, Swamiji received a telegram from headquarters Belur Math summoning him immediately. When he reached Belur Math, Swami Hiranmayanandaji, the General Secretary, said, "You will now be entrusted with the charge of a center that holds importance only next to Belur Math, and that center is the Delhi center." When Gokulanandaji asked Swami Gambhiranandaji, the then president of the Math, if he should go to the Delhi center, he replied, "Yes, you are to go, because you are quite capable and we have selected you." Thus, the wheel of destiny placed Gokulanandaji Maharaj from the simple life of Khasi Hills to New Delhi, the happening political capital of the nation. It was as if the times to come awaited his arrival. Gokulanandaji took over the charge of Ramakrishna Mission Center in Delhi in 1986. The Delhi Center is a very important place of operation, and the nature of work is very complex and difficult. One needs to be very cool and composed to meet the requirements of the center. The state of functioning of the center is a direct pointer to the efficiency of the secretary. The Delhi Center, which has witnessed the services of spiritual masters like Swami Ranganathanandaji, Swami Buddhanandaji, and Swami Swahanandaji, happens to be one of the most critical centers of Ramakrishna Mission. These spiritual luminaries have made great contributions to the center through their unparalleled acumen and have thus made it one of the most historical centers of the order. It is for these reasons that the Delhi Center has attracted one and all, including the President and the Prime Minister of India. One of the golden chapters of the history of Delhi Center was scripted by Swami Gokulanandaji, spanning 21 years of unstinted dedication to the cause of humanity.
जब बैरून मुझे इधर भेजा 1986 अरुणाचल से, जब इधर में आया तो देखा ये आश्रम में बहुत साधु देश विदेश से आता है, रहने का कोई जगह भी नहीं है। इसके बाद देखा और भी साधु आता है, भजन किया रहता है, रहने का जगह नहीं। एक बार हमारा अभी भी ख्याल है, जब हम टहल में गया सुबह मॉर्निंग में, देखा एक ऑडिटोरियम है यूनिवर्सिटी लाइब्रेरी, उधर में जस्ट वन फ्लोर क्लास 4 इंक्वायरीज का बिल्डिंग, उधर से परिकल्पना आ गया, भगवान बुद्धि दिया। डेलमोट में जाके हमारा जो आर्किटेक्ट मेंबर मैनेजिंग कमेटी पार्ट को उसको रिक्वेस्ट किया, देखिए उधर भी 2 फ्लोर दूसरा मंजिल लगाइए, एक एसी ऑडिटोरियम की जरूरत है। जो कुछ हुआ सब ठाकुर का कृपा से ही हुआ।
His Princeton character, divine eyes, and musical speech left a deep imprint on each one of his devotees, friends, and acquaintances. His cosmic looks, strong personality, swiftness of mind, and unique prudence impressed anyone meeting him. There are some with whom one could easily fall in love with. He was certainly one of them. He showered his motherly grace on all. People from all walks of life benefited from his vast experience in man and crisis management. He was a master of overcoming mental tension and spoke on the subject elaborately at various meetings and seminars.
How to overcome mental tension. And all that I spoke extempo. Fortunately, these were taped, then audited, and then brought out in the form of a book by Swami Lokeshwaranji Maharaj, who was the head of a prestigious international center, Gold Park, Kolkata. We invited him all the way from Kolkata to come to Delhi and to release the book in the prestigious Siri Fort Auditorium of Delhi. Bahubalam Manabalam. Most important is Atma Balam. As I told you, that every day, at least for a few minutes, I must try to be in communion with my real self, wherein lies the source of tremendous energy, Atma Balam.
Swamiji, we are indeed very thankful to you from coming to Delhi and addressing the citizens of Ahmedabad.
His literature on this subject is in wide circulation and is the perfect need of the hour, given the rising mechanization of the material world. Swami Gokulanandaji has delivered lectures on the possible ways to overcome mental tension at a number of management institutes. Swami Gokulananda was an ardent music lover. He relished the tunes of Rabindranath Tagore and Rajinikanto. He expressed his admiration for Rabindranath a number of times.
Dane poet. Because he was a mystic, he could write that great Gitanjali. I am reminded of few lines where he said, let me tell you in Bengali and I will give the English rendering. Arja kichu basonate ghure bedai dine rate mithya shesob mithya ogo tomai ami chai. Whole day we just go round doing our so many activities, but these are all false, all unreal. We have to remember that God alone is true, all else is unreal. I repeat, Arja kichu basonate ghure bedai dine rate mithya shesob mithya. Let this conviction come that we run after phantom pleasures of the world. But the most important is our beloved God. And another place he put it philosophically, why we don't realize the ultimate truth. The reason is that our desire to realize the truth is not complete. So he used in Bengali, Ada ichchar sankot hote bachao more. He prayed to the Lord, O Lord, please save me from this predicament. I want to have you, I want to realize you. But my desire to realize you is not full. I love the world and all its pleasures, and I love you also. As Goswami Tulsidas ji said in one place, Jahan Ram tahan nahi kaam, jahan kaam tahan nahi Ram. If we say that we need God, we have to love God with all our heart. But most of us, what we do, we want to have God and we want to have all the pleasures of the world. That is not possible. This is self-deception. So I personally, as a monk, have great regard for Kavi Guru Rabindranath. And whenever I listen to Rabindra Sangeet and all that, I also go into ecstasy. He was a great poet. And the time has come that we will make a special study of the great works of Rabindranath Tagore. Thank you.
Swamiji often endeavored to descend from the higher levels of spirituality to the levels of the common masses so that he could freely intermingle with them. One such endeavor has been his repeated interest in the metro rail.
6 January 2006, we are now getting ready for a pilgrimage trip to Dwarka from Ramakrishna Ashram station. It so happened that when a station was coming up here, near our ashram, original plan was to get it named Palika Place. Then Swami Gokulananda on behalf of Ramakrishna Mission approached the Chief Minister of Delhi and the Delhi Metro Rail authorities with a request that it would be in the fitness of the things if the station is named as Ramakrishna Ashram Marg. Thanks to Sri Sridharan, Managing Director. And today, Swami Gokulananda with a number of devotees and 2 brahmacharis are about to board the train for going to Dwarka.
Metro rail raised the pulse of Delhi. What if the pulse is raised further by the strings of devotion? Surely the metro mechanics would begin reverberating with spiritual energy and dance to the tunes of divinity. Such sights, needless to mention, would be rare and deemed as a great fixture of history. Such was the development on 5th of January 2006 when the Dwarka-Barakhamba route of Delhi Metro Rail witnessed the trip of Swami Gokulananda ji and devotees from the Ramakrishna Ashram Marg station to Dwarka. Ram Krishna Sharanam, Ram Krishna Sharanam, Ram Krishna Sharanam, Sharane, Kripahi Kevalam, Kripahi Kevalam, Kripahi Kevalam, Sharane. Whereas metro rail is a result of modern technological novelties, the modern world is a result of the works and thoughts of stalwarts like Swami Vivekananda. The station at the Pachkunya Road on Dwarka-Barakhamba track has been named Ramakrishna Ashram Marg and has been the result of ceaseless efforts of Swami Gokulananda ji Maharaj.
Oh Mother, protect us from evils.
Oh Mother, protect us from evil.
Give us food, give us life.
Give us food, give us life.
Untiring Gokulananda, right from sunrise to sunset, his huge responsibilities, preaching of the pure and timeless Gospels, the incessant efforts of a luminary for a better world. Everything goes on with lyrical elegance.
We are now leaving Delhi Mission premises for the residence of Sri Lokhinidas Chundralala. We are going to 63 French Colony East. सभी उस परमात्मा से प्रार्थना करें जिससे हम लोग आए हैं, जिसमें हम लोग रहते हैं और विलीन हो जाते हैं, वह हमें सही रास्ता दिखाए।
He runs interminably at the horizon from one end to the other by breaking the wall that separates sannyas from material life, drowned in the vision of Ramakrishna and preaching it to one and all.
You are our symbol.
Devotees of all kinds, poor, rich, learned, illiterates, sad, happy, and hailing from all walks of life, all seek a feel of Gokulananda. His vision could turn homes into temples. His guided meditation classes raised the consciousness of even the most ignorant and mechanical minds. Many a people stood transformed in his divine presence. On 31st March 2007 at 10:25 hours, the history of Ramakrishna Mission Delhi witnessed a critical juncture with the passing away of the leading luminary of the order, thereby creating a void that is impossible to fill. Time seemed to come to a halt and space apparently turned still. The sound of silence seemed to rule in every nook and corner as Swami Gokulananda Ji Maharaj left for his heavenly abode. The fun and frolic that accompanied his presence disappeared, and gloom seemed to take their place instead. To some, it was like the loss of father, to some, elder brother, to some, a friend, philosopher and guide. It was as if these truth seekers had been rendered homeless.
ওই মহাসিন্ধুর পার থেকে কি সঙ্গীত ভেসে আসে, ওই মহাসিন্ধুর পার থেকে কি সঙ্গীত ভেসে আসে। কে ডাকে কাতর প্রাণে মধুর তানে, আয় চলে আয়, ওরে আয় চলে আয় আমার পাশে, মহা সিন্ধুর পার থেকে কি সঙ্গীত ভেসে আসে, ওই মহা সিন্ধুর পার থেকে কি সঙ্গীত ভেসে আসে। বলে আয় রে ছুটে আয় রে তরা, হেথা নাই কো মৃত্যু নাই কো জরা। বলে আয় রে ছুটে আয় রে তরা, হেথা নাই কো মৃত্যু নাই কো জরা। হেথা বাতাস গীতি গন্ধ ভরা, চির স্নিগ্ধ মধুমাসে, হেথা চির শ্যামল বসুন ধরা, চির জ্যোৎস্না নীল আকাশে, মহা সিন্ধুর পার থেকে কি সঙ্গীত ভেসে আসে, ওই মহা সিন্ধুর পার থেকে কি সঙ্গীত ভেসে আসে। কেন ভূতে বোঝা বহিস পিছে, ভূতের ব্যাগার খেটে মরিস মিছে, কেন ভূতে বোঝা বহিস পিছে। ভূতের ব্যাগার খেটে মরিস মিছে, দেখই সুধা সিন্ধু উছলিছে, পূর্ণ ইন্দু পরকাশে। ভূতের বোঝা ফেলে ঘরের ছেলে, আয় চলে আয় আমার পাশে, মহা সিন্ধুর পার থেকে কি সঙ্গীত ভেসে আসে ওই মহা সিন্ধুর পার থেকে কি সঙ্গীত ভেসে আসে। কেন কারাগৃহে আছিস বন্ধ, ওরে ওরে মূঢ় ওরে অন্ধ। কেন কারাগৃহে আছিস বন্ধ, ওরে ওরে মূঢ় ওরে অন্ধ। ভবে সেই শেষ পরমানন্দ যে আমারে ভালোবাসে। কেন ঘরের ছেলে পরের কাছে পড়ে আছিস পরবাসে, মহা সিন্ধুর পার থেকে কি সঙ্গীত ভেসে আসে ওই মহা সিন্ধুর পার থেকে।